I think what's really exciting about where we are now is we've actually come through a pandemic which changed the lives of lots of different people and enabled people to have conversations like we're doing over Zoom and be more digital. The construction industry itself really accelerated change right from the top, Construction Leadership Council, all the way through the other organisations and industry bodies to actually keep moving in that time. And that digital transformation has meant a lot for the construction sector. And what do you think it will mean as the construction sector moves forward? Because we've still got a lot of those sort of old ways of doing things, productivity issues, efficiency issues, and the standardisation of we've done it this way for so long is very still hard to get across, isn't it?
It's a great point. So when we look backwards, we saw 10 years worth of digital transformation delivered within 4 months when the pandemic hit, which really does show us that a lot of what was holding us back was some of that loss aversion that we had as humans to doing things differently. So you've described a statement there of, well, we've always done it this way. That's actually completely normal when it comes to how humans compute information and are assessing risk on a day-to-day basis. We are much more comfortable with doing the same thing that we know works over and over again than potentially catastrophizing what could go wrong if we do it differently. But what COVID gave us was a really kind of intense risk assessment where we thought, well, if we keep doing it the way that we've always done, then we'll lose everything. So our loss aversion was much more comfortable in terms of us taking those risks. You know, we had no choice. We had to do things differently across all industries and in our own personal lives. And now we see that we've emerged out of that much more comfortable with technologies that actually aren't emerging. They're technologies that existed for decades before we started to use them at pace and with assertion the way that the pandemic forced us to. So I think it's a wonderful case study for thinking about getting more comfortable with risk taking, but being cognizant the risk benefit analysis still has to exist. I think that's something that at mass we shouldn't lose sight of. And it's funny because I'm already beginning to see as we move into this, but the new normal world that we are existing in post-pandemic, we're already beginning to see organisations kind of creep back into comfort zones instead of embracing that really massive global experiment that we had through COVID. So that would be my one thing, is just remember that even though something maybe feels scary, if we break it down into the smallest component part and start experimenting against it, then we will strip failure out of doing the really massive thing badly by evolving and iterating something into potentially something wonderful